It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, sponsored by Marco's Pizza, who, in their generosity, would like to give away 22 pizzas in certificate form this live stream. That means 12 pizzas will go to one individual. That's pizza for a year, one per month. And then we'll throw out 10 extra pizza pies to individual people who may or may never have been to a Marco's before. That's the beautiful thing about it, is that they want to give it out to the community. So you get to be perhaps a winner. I have all those winners listed in my computer. I'll show you that at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. But it's bye-bye Imelda. We don't have to say bye-bye much. It's already out there, but there's still some minor flooding going on this afternoon and evening. You can see Sewell's Point, 6 o'clock was up to about 4.5 feet. Nuisance flooding for Lynnhaven River and Duck, but there are some signs of improvement. Big signs of improvement. We had less wind today. The cycle of the tidal flooding will get much better, even though technically coastal flood advisory lasts till, well, another 40, was it 7:40 now? 20 more minutes. We got 20 more minutes. That's it. That's it. And then things should start to improve dramatically, but it's until 8 o'clock tonight, and that's also the time when they'll announce the winners of the pizza. Now, until 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we still have coastal flood warning for the Outer Banks. We're talking specifically around Rodanthe, points south all the way down toward Hatteras, where they've had now 8 homes. Did I say 8? I did say 8. 8 homes have sadly collapsed now in the last 2-3 days. But with 2 to 3 feet inundation, the coastal flood warning is obviously still a concern down there. And they had an extension. This was to go till 6 o'clock tonight. Now it's until 10 p.m. The ocean's still churning, some angry waves still coming on shore. This is from Virginia Beach all the way down toward the Outer Banks, but 6 to 8 plus. The plus would be mainly from Rodanthe down toward Hatteras and even into the Buxton area. So some issues still taking place, but I can tell you things are going to improve. If they didn't improve a little bit today, they will improve dramatically tomorrow, and that's what I really want to emphasize. You can see the surface map radar, not much to see here. We have high pressure, big bubble, no trouble that's anchored off the coast of Maine, off the coast of Massachusetts, and with winds rotating clockwise around that high, we're going to continue to benefit from drier conditions. Not to say that we had any rain per se, but there have been a few showers not far off the coast of Wilmington, maybe perhaps off the coast of Hatteras. Meanwhile, the wind gusts right now, 7 o'clock, just 23. But there's a lot of blanks, which means we don't have a wind gust at the moment in Virginia Beach. We've got a 20. Kitty Hawk, that's noteworthy, but you can see that if you fly further south, we still have a 23 mile per hour gust in Hatteras. So if you look at all this peak wind gusts, we had a peak gust of 30. I'll go ahead and pencil that in with my telestrator. 30 in Norfolk, it was 26 in Virginia Beach, 31 in Hatteras. Yesterday in Norfolk it was 38. So it did drop by 8 miles an hour. So it wasn't as windy today comparably to where it was this time yesterday. So we've had some reduction in wind, and we're still seeing a little bit more in the way of tidal flooding. Did I mention we're giving away free pizza? I hope so. I hope I mentioned it because there are 5 convenient locations in the Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk area that are participating in the free pizza. So if you are announced, if your name is announced as a winner, you could be the winner. You will have 5 locations, soon to be 6. The one that's near the Great Bridge Middle School on South Battlefield Boulevard will be opening very, very soon if it hasn't already. But I can tell you, WTKR.com, that's our webpage, /Marcos, is where you sign up. Takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes tops. You give us permission to send you a certificate. We get your address. It's real simple. No strings attached. What's great about that, the fact that you may be a winner tonight, you may be a winner next Thursday. But I can tell you the deal of the week through Saturday is still the Hot Honey Magnifico. It's a new item alert. Use the promo code WTKR Sunny, and you can get a medium pizza with the Mike's Hot Honey for $10.99. If you've never had Mike's Hot Honey, it's great on chicken, great on pizza. It's a real popular item. It's sweet as it starts to go down your tongue, and then by the time it hits your esophagus, it's a little chili pepper, a little kick as it goes down. Really good. So it's very popular right now is the Mike's Hot Honey. You might try it on your pizza. And of course, the certificate was giving away tonight will look like this, and it'll go out at 8 o'clock tonight. So you'll get one for October if you're the winner, one for November, December, and that is one large pizza, one topping monthly for free. It works like a punch card, and you'll get that all the way through September of 2026. So you get 12 pizzas. in the future. I love it. I love it, the fact that we can do that. But that Marcos wants to do that, I think is great. All right, so we're just checking in with you. I want to come back on camera for a second to see if I have everybody on here. Yep, I just want to say hi. I got a note from, it looks like Kim Thompson-Jones. Maybe this is from yesterday. Watching the replay. Hey, I like it. Whenever you watch it, it's great. I like it. But if you're watching it live, Kim, I got to load those comments here, so give me a second. We'll get back to that in a moment. But these are the peak gusts today. Clearly not as strong as it was yesterday. Ocean front, even with the ambient light, you can see there's some churning of the waves there. You can see some white caps coming in there. And the surf height tomorrow should be about 4 to 7 feet. High rip current risk with a low tide occurring just before 11 a.m. High temperature tomorrow, about 72, and the winds are going to be much more reasonable to handle, 5 to 15 miles per hour, which really, in the big scheme of things, isn't all that bad. Low temperature today, 7:34 in the morning. You mean we got to 64? Well, some of us, Norfolk got to 64, but they were in the 40s in Emporia. Mid-40s for Jackson, North Carolina. No way! Yes, it was 47 in Ahoskie. That's a big difference. Can't you just pick one? Okay, 64 Norfolk, 63 Hampton. We got, of course, the Battle of the Bay football game going on Saturday. We'll talk about that forecast in a moment. But at least from what we were actually this morning, it fell to 47 in Melfa. So I don't know where you were early this morning or where you were early this morning, but at 7:34 a.m., we fell to 64 in Norfolk. And I think we'll be in the 50s across the board again tonight. Some might flirt with the upper 40s. By the way, I had a great question yesterday. I'm going to throw it back on here if she's still watching. Carol, hello Carol, if you don't mind, I'll recapture your question from yesterday. What? She asked the question, when do you think we'll see our first frost? Will it be in November? Well, last night I talked extensively about the fact that they were having frost advisories, freeze warnings for New England, upstate New York, and Pennsylvania. I think we're probably on time for this year. I don't see it happening because you'll see the Climate Prediction Center already expecting above normal temperatures for much of Texas, all the way up and down the eastern seaboard. So if we stay above normal, it's going to be hard to get an early frost around here. But it was cool, as I mentioned, 40s for some of us this morning in places like Emporia, Jackson, North Carolina. Clearly, it can be rather different depending on where you are. But as I take this full screen, you'll notice the dates right here. November 21st through the 30th is the typical time that Norfolk can see our frost. It's usually around Thanksgiving time. But if you're in Hampton, if you're in Suffolk, you're in Elizabeth City, Newport News, you can usually see that in a much earlier time frame in November, sometimes between 11 and the 20th. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if we get somewhere in that range, like the uprights. Think of it like football. You got the 11th and 20th, and the 21st and the 30th. So those are the time frames as far as a potential first frost. I'm just checking in with you. I want to see if you have a comment that's fresh, that's new. I've been posting things, obviously, that are maybe not as fresh and new, but what I wanted to see was what you think, what you have on your brain that you want to share with me. I got a couple of, I think, 9 comments here. So let me go back and check and see if I update this. Yep, I got a note from Jessica Lynn. She's on here. I want to say hi to her. She says, hello, First Warning Live. Jessica, did I mention, I don't know if you know this, but we have a deal of the week. You get $10.99 Mike's Hot Honey Pizza, really good. I had one on Tuesday night right after the live stream. I was right there at the Norfolk store, and I got one. Probably get another one before Saturday's through. But just me. But glad to have you here. I got Taj Brown on here. He's also giving shouts and got some notes from Kim. He's mentioning Kim. Kim's saying thanks, Taj. We got a great little conversation. I love that. And if you have something pressing, like Carol's question about when do you think the first frost will be, I'll stop, pause, and we'll change gears, talk about the topics of weather that you're most interested in. I can tell you it's 7:48 in 12 minutes. I'll be announcing the winners of this week's pizza. But the first fall frost dates have been on the screen. Now this is remarkable. Today, I was expecting a high of 70. We got up to 71 in Norfolk. We started off at 64. The 71 occurred at 1:58 p.m. according to the Norfolk International Airport records. So the airport keeps great records. So we know that 71 occurred at 1:58 this afternoon. This isn't more typical. This is more typical of April 19th. Can that be right? April 19th. So maybe it'd be easier just to use the numbers because I obviously can't spell with a telestrator. But how about 4/19? We'll put 4/19, that's April 19th, and October 19th. That's typical. 71 degrees is more typical of those times of year. Now, obviously, they're like 6 months apart, but it is only October 2nd, and we're already feeling like it's the third week of October. That's kind of unusual. We saw a high in Elizabeth City of 72, saw a high in Suffolk at 73, and Newport News hit 71 degrees today. If you are in the mood to go check out some fall color this weekend, may I urge you to drive west. Go west! Because if you go west, you have a better chance of seeing, sure, there's some trees out there that are dealing with stress. They're already changing rather rapidly. But generally, if you head back toward western Virginia and western North Carolina, you're more inclined to see a little more color as we head from early to mid-October. And you can see that in the green and yellow areas there. Weather headlines, let's go ahead and talk about it. Fall's in the air. Those dew points will stay low, which means comfortable. Weather will persist for now. This weekend, plenty of sunshine. We're in the 70s, and then the next rain chance comes in when? Later next week. Well, can you be a little more specific? I sure can. I'm good like that. How about Wednesday evening into Thursday morning? I'll say it again. Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. That's our best chance of rain. Could we get a spot of drizzle here or there between now and then? Maybe. I left it 10% tomorrow. But really, the trend is for us to set up what I think will be one of the best top 10 weekends in Hampton Roads, Northeast North Carolina this weekend. My view, no rain chance essentially Saturday or Sunday, and the temperatures struggling to get into the mid-70s, which is like room temperature. You got to admit, and there's so much going on, which we'll examine here momentarily as well. But the rain chances, 10% tomorrow. We'll go partly cloudy in the morning, mostly sunny Friday afternoon. Repeat, mostly sunny Friday afternoon, although a few scattered clouds will be present in the morning. And then I brought back another 10% chance Monday and Tuesday, but the best bet will come in Wednesday late and into Thursday morning. The satellite picture shows the Atlantic as a whole, and there are a couple of areas here. I want to first say goodbye to Imelda. This hit Bermuda with no injuries. They had massive power outages. They had to hunker down for a Category 2 storm in Bermuda. That happened around 11 o'clock last night. And Bermuda, if you can squint, it's there. It's that little speck there, that island. But this storm is now post-tropical, and it's moving into the cooler waters of the Atlantic. But there's not one, but two areas the Hurricane Center is looking at right now. When I say 10%, this is over the next 7 days. So over the next week, there's going to be some disturbed weather in Florida that could, 10% chance, could get a name. And if it does, it would be likely heading into the Gulf, not headed here. And then there's another one, 20% chance the next wave off of Africa decides to come back out. And if it does, it has also a 20% chance over the next 7 days it gets a name. So we'll see what those names are. Would be maybe Jerry, maybe what do we have? Karen. We have Jerry and Karen. Pretty common names, but again, if they come to pass, they would be next. My question to you is, to see how interactive this group is, how many hurricanes have developed in the Atlantic so far this season? It's either A, B, or C. Don't delay. Go ahead and be quick on the comment, and I'll see if I can put you on the screen. 2, 3, or 4. How many hurricanes developed in the Atlantic so far this season? I'm checking the comments. Love to say hi to you, see how active or interactive. If there's a delay, I apologize. Taj is over here. I think he's thinking about it. I think he's over here thinking about, what is the answer? Is it 2 or is it 3? Taj, hang in there with me. You are, I think, I don't know, 4 out of 6 correct. I think you've been doing very well with these trivia questions. But if you're on the call, I got Kim. She's here. Kim says it's 4. Kim says 4. Let's work with that. So she was the first one to leave a comment number here, because I know she's watching live. She has to be watching live, otherwise how would you know? But the answer is actually 4. Ding, 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 ding. Great job, Kim. Very impressed that you knew that, because we had Aaron. We had, that's number 1, Cat 5 at one time. Gabrielle, Cat 4 at one time. Umberto, Cat 5 at one time. And Imelda, Cat 2, when it hit Bermuda last night around 11 o'clock Eastern. So, yeah, 4 is the right answer, but it also opens the door for possible Jerry and Karen. Maybe in the next 7 days, we'll keep an eye on the areas near Florida and the ones out in the middle of the Atlantic. Now, the hurricane season so far compared to normal, we'll go ahead and split this right down the middle. 11 is named normally by this time of the year. We've had 9. You typically have 5 hurricanes by now. We've had 4. And then on the major hurricanes, we have 3 when we typically see 2. So it's not that far from normal, but it's worth kind of a factoid. I love that. And forecaster Derek Getter was kind enough to put that together for us. Friday's planner, look at this, partly cloudy in the morning. So if there's nothing else you get from this live stream, may I suggest to you, it's going to be partly cloudy in the morning, but mostly sunny to finish. So we'll go from scattered clouds at 8, and then we'll be struggling to get to 72. Again, we hit 71 today. And we'll be back in the mid-60s pretty rapidly as we're heading back into the upper 50s come Friday night, Saturday morning. So it's a lot to take in, but I'll tell you what, there's some activities. How about the Homegrown Harvest Festival in Franklin? What's so special about this is, well, one, the festival proceeds benefit the food bank of southeastern Virginia. So it's for a great cause. Mid-70s, it's a Friday, Saturday event. So you could start in tomorrow. If you get in there tomorrow, you might be able to enjoy some of the great food. They've got some great activities tomorrow evening. Saturday, 74 light winds. You couldn't ask for better weather, but that's in Franklin. One of the many events, that you could participate. How about some bubbles and face painting? There's a children's festival at Town Park Center, Town Point Park from 10 to 3. Children's Festival Saturday, mostly sunny waterfront in Norfolk. So check this out. If you haven't had your kids or grandkids, maybe they're cooped up, you want to get them off screen time, and they want to blow some really big bubbles and have some face painted activities, you can check us out at the Children's Festival this weekend. And who can leave out the 50th annual Peanut Festival in Edenton? Get ready for a nutty good time. They're going to be in the mid-70s on Saturday. So if you like peanuts, I do know they also have a nut run. You know what a nut run is? You probably don't know. It's a 5K, it's a 10K run, and it's a 15K run. Those who are doing 15K, I think, probably ready for the marathon. But that's just me. And there's also a peanut parade with floats and tractors and cars. Oh my, all this goes on in Edenton. Again, beautiful place. Just get in the car, drive down there. You're going to love the weather. 75 on, say, Saturday. Weekend forecast looks like this. 74 on Saturday, 77 on Sunday. I'm trying to get through as much of the weather as I can because in about 4 minutes, I'm going to be announcing our Marco's Pizza winners in just mere moments. Now, the Battle of the Bay. Oh my goodness, is that this weekend? It is. It's this weekend too. I know you're probably like, I can't keep track of all these events. The Battle of the Bay, 64th edition. I believe it's 32, 30, and 1 tie. I believe the edge goes to Norfolk State in terms of the history, because this goes back to 1963. So when you have the Spartans taking on the Pirates, it's a big rivalry. Temperatures will ease through the 70s, about 70 degrees by 6. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff. 4 o'clock. You thought I didn't know much about sports, but there you have it. The Spartans taking on the Pirates. Winds will be about 5 to 10. So if you don't want to be cooped up inside, this is a good time to get outside. Enjoy a beautiful game forecast for lots of sunshine for the Battle of the Bay. Now, we talked about September being very cool. We had 10 above normal days, 20 below normal days. We ended in the mid-70s, but we did get 4, count them 4 90-degree days, going back to the first weekend and essentially during that last full week of September. But so far today, we hit 71. Now we're 2 days below normal for October. Clearly we have some time left before things could change, but I find this interesting. We're actually cooler today. We'll be around 72 tomorrow. Isn't that nice? 71, today's high. 93, the record set back just a few years ago in 2019. 6 years ago, we had 93 on this date. All right, it is now 7:57. If you're curious about how quickly things go downhill, I said that by the 19th, I think it is the 19th? Is that a Sunday? I gotta have to check my phone real quick. But I can tell you that the typical time we get in the low 70s would be the third week. The further you go down in the calendar, the normal highs start to trail off. That's for sure. And yes, Sunday was and is 71. So when I said today's high of 71 would be more indicative of October 19th, that's where this comes from. But by Halloween, the normal high this time of year is 67. That's pretty remarkable. Talk about a cool down, because today, typical high is 77. It's 10 degrees different between now and Halloween. We've got a lot of cooling to do in the coming days. So far, just a trace of rain occurred yesterday, but 3.86 is normal for this time of the calendar. And if you're looking at the big picture, 4 inches below normal for the year. We're running about a quarter below normal for October, although it's very, very early. And one thing you'll note here is that typically we see Did see almost 45 inches of rain-melted snow last year. The difference is we're about 9.68 inches less now than we had this time last year, because we have only 35 inches, 0.14 of rain and melted snow. All right, so just checking in with you because I want to make sure. Now it is 8 o'clock. 7:59, you know what time it is. It is time for you to find out if you've won some pizza. I love to be the messenger of good news. When the weather's going to be great, I'll have to tell you. If I think it's going to be lousy, I'll tell you that too. But this is what's great about the fact that we can do this and do it every week like we do and love to do on Thursday. So just a reminder, if you don't win today, just remember you can still get deal of the week, the Hot Honey Magnifico for $10.99 using the promo code WTKR Sunny. WTKR, that's our TV call letters and the word Sunny. All right, so coming back on camera over here. So we got to do this. Ready? I know it's time for pizza because we have to first give out some confetti. All right, the big winner for this week, I'm happy to announce goes to Janine Ricks. Congratulations. We have confetti for you, Janine Ricks, in the form of a certificate, which will be mailed to you by U.S. Post Office. Congratulations to you. You are this week's big winner. This is free Marco's Pizza for a year, which means you will be receiving this beautiful certificate with your name attached to it. It's going to have free pizza. That's one large, one topping pizza from Marco's that you will be able to redeem once a month for 12 solid months, starting with October. Love it, the fact that you are the winner. And if you are watching and you happen to know Janine, we'd love to be able to give her a shout out. If she's watching, let us know if you're on here. We'd love to say hi. And how surprised are you? You have just won free pizza for a year. That goes to Janine Ricks. Now, Hampton, maybe what, a 30-minute drive? Not even. 19 miles. I'm figuring you're 13 miles. You still have to cross over. If you're in Hampton, Janine, you have to cross over to Hampton Boulevard in Norfolk. You got to cross the HRBT. Not a big deal. About 13 miles, maybe a 20-minute drive based on traffic. But we still have other pizzas to give away. This is, in fact, the free Marco's Pizza. We like to give away individual pies. So when we do this, we like to also mention that there are people who maybe have never been to Marco's. Maybe you're the first time to see it, but we love to be able to give you out. So we're just going to give out 10 individual pizzas. So let's do that, starting with the winners right here. And those first two, in no particular order, happen to be Annie White from Hertford, North Carolina. My goodness, Hertford. That's probably about an hour's drive to maybe Kempsville Road in Chesapeake. But Annie, you are committed to winning a free Marco's Pizza if you happen to be in our neighborhood. Back here, you'll be able to redeem that pizza. Colleen Colmenares, maybe I said that. Virginia Beach. Colleen, you are a big winner as well. Number 3 and 4 are now on the screen, both from Virginia Beach. That's convenient. 3 locations in Virginia Beach. This is Elizabeth Perella and Holly Albertson. Congratulations to you, Holly and Elizabeth. You have just won a free individual Marco's Pizza with one topping. We'll throw that in there as well, so you'll be able to enjoy the pizza there. Also, we have number 5 and 6, including Holly Smith from Newport News. Congratulations, Holly. Kimberly Jones. Kimberly Jones has just won a free Marco's Pizza. Congratulations to Kimberly. Individual Marco's Pizza is headed your way in the mail. And in no particular order, number 7 and number 8. Now on the screen, we have Larry Nelson. Larry, if you're watching, I'm not sure if you're watching at the moment. If you are, I want to throw out a congratulations to you. You're in Virginia Beach. You have just won a free Marco's Pizza, as well as Melissa Spruill of Chesapeake. So, Melissa, you might find the Kempsville address a little more convenient for you, but you are number 8. And then we have 2 more individual pizzas. I want to announce those here as well. That would be Ralph Priest of Chesapeake has just won a free Marco's Pizza, one topping, and Roger Bowie of Virginia Beach. Great to have you both. Great to have everybody win, but anytime you're a winner and you get free pizza, especially my only question to you is, are you going to share? Now that you got free pizza, I encourage you to share because other people might want to participate. They might want a little, I haven't tried that. Let me try this particular topping or this topping. Marco's is here to serve you, and they just wanted you to have those announcements. So that's all on the board. I mentioned the big winner, Janine Ricks, has won 12 of these pizzas. So that's 12 plus the 10, that's 22 pizzas. Amazing stuff. We'll come back to that if time permits at the end, but very thankful for all of you. And I know there's some other comments coming in excited. Taj Brown is so excited for all of you. Look at this. I tell you what, Taj, I'm excited too. Anytime somebody can win free pizza. I mean, it's like a pizza party, right? Weather, Marcos loves weather. I love pizza. It's a great fit for everybody. Hopefully, if you haven't tried it, you will soon. By the way, let's go back to the precipitation. We talked about the fact that we are dry in some months of this year, but the drought monitor, which came out this morning, doesn't really show much at all. In fact, you see how quiet it is. There's no drought in Norfolk, no coloring in Hickory, no coloring in Ocean Lakes or Fort Story. So the Back Bay area, all the way up to Eastern Shore, we're fine. There's no discussion of drought in Exmoor, Cape Charles, Chincoteague, or even Gloucester or Matthews. But if you go to Northeast North Carolina, interestingly enough, they didn't get as much rain in Ahoskie and Edenton and Elizabeth City as we did from that coastal storm with no name. Remember the coastal storm with no name that was in September? Yeah, I think many of you do. Some of these areas in North Carolina didn't get the benefit. Bertie County didn't get much because you're under a moderate drought, as illustrated by the brown coloring. Think of this as 5 levels, right? You have the abnormally dry in yellow, moderate in brown, severe drought in orange, extreme in red, and exceptional in burgundy. So 5 levels. Level 2 is the moderate, and that would cover Ahoskie, Edenton, and Elizabeth City. Now, is there more red color in other parts of the country? Absolutely. I'm looking up here in New England, from parts of central New Hampshire and Vermont and parts of Maine could really use some rain. And if you don't have to go that far, go to our friends in West Virginia, to the east of Charleston, where it becomes severe to extreme near Elkins. And in the northern panhandle of West Virginia, they too are extreme drought. They are really, really hoping, maybe praying for rain at this point. You come back to Knoxville, East Tennessee, where I spent 15 years, not a problem. They've had enough rain this summer, and in September, there's one little patch of abnormally dryness in maybe parts of Loudoun County or Roane County, for example, and maybe north of Cookeville. Really not a whole lot of dryness at all in parts of East Tennessee. But if we expand the view, you can see some other red areas in South Texas. Really covers a good part of Arizona and New Mexico in the orange and red, but they need some rain in parts of the Rockies, back toward Idaho, western Montana, and the state of Washington itself. So yeah, it's probably could be used in some parts. And you don't see a lot of rain at this point. If you're in the military and you are interested about where's all the active weather right now, if you're watching me live, most of the showers, although pretty benign, extend from basically Reno up toward just south of Boise, Idaho, scattered showers in Seattle and near Great Falls, Montana. Quiet weather across the heartland. We go down toward Louisiana. A couple of showers there just to the northeast of Houston. Some sections of Florida getting some rain at this hour, especially near Miami. There's some rain showers. And again, this could be associated with that 10% possible development, but there's some disturbed weather there. And we also have some wet weather just off the coast of Georgia. But really quiet here and will continue to be. Dew points have fallen from, well, they were in the 30s. Now they're in the low 40s for Pittsburgh. That's pretty dry air here. Beckley's 41. So when you have dew points in the 40s and 50s, it's really comfortable. And I would dare say there are still some 30s in upstate New York, while they are really feeling some dry air. It's 48 in Virginia Beach. Now, what's kind of unusual, I had said by the first week of October we could have dew points in the 40s. Well, sure enough, some of us are in the 40s for dew points. That itself is a big earmark. We had some 40s for lows this morning in Ahoskie and back toward Emporia and Jackson, North Carolina. But the dew points here are going to stay low for the next couple of days. I don't see them coming back up until probably about Tuesday, and I'll show you what that looks like. So what a dew point means is really kind of an indicator of how sticky it is. It does turn humid around 65, but not likely until we get to Monday, Tuesday of next week. That's why I say tomorrow, Saturday, and even Sunday could be framing as one of the top 10 weekends of the year if you get out and enjoy it. Once you get into the mid 60s, it starts to feel a little bit more humid, and perhaps not as quite as exciting. By the way, speaking of excitement, Kim, I think Kim's on here. She said, I almost got excited. Maybe you were excited that you were going to win. Maybe you'll win next week, but I can't tell you, I have no hands on it, right? This is randomized. Our sales department takes all the entries and they shuffle the deck and we get the winners. So I'm very excited about the winners today, and the ones that we'll get next week we'll have next Thursday. But a couple of notes here. Kim also follows up with a congratulations winners. I'm very excited for them too. So if you're watching on delay, just know that we were thrilled for you. Happy that you get to have some free pizza. Makes it a little easier on the budget, don't you think? If you eat out a lot, I do a lot, maybe you find it a little easier to have a little bit of a break. All right, so there's the dew point forecast. It is now 8:09. I'm going to try and wrap things up. A current temperature at 8 o'clock. Already 58 in Chesapeake. It's already 58 in Chesapeake, 64 in Norfolk, 61 in Newport News, and we've got 63 currently in Gloucester. These are 8 o'clock temperatures already in the upper 50s. Where? Emporia, Franklin. Oh, and Wakefield's up 54. I'm telling you what, you've got a great chance to get 40s tonight if you're already in the 50s at this hour. Now, it's a lot warmer in Louisville, Kentucky. I'll grant you that. 80 here. It's 71 in Atlanta. But you go up and down the East Coast where they're at 57 in the Big Apple and 64 right now in Virginia Beach. Those are our current readings. The temperature outlook between now and the 16th keeps it really toasty for Texas. The Lone Star State is projected to have well above normal temperatures right through the middle of the month. And as we get closer to Halloween, we just saw that the average high gets back into the upper 60s by Halloween. So I'm thinking that we will probably be on time. My expectation, at least at this point, will be on time for our first frost, usually in mid-November. So that's kind of a blanket statement because it can happen typically anywhere from the 11th all the way to like the 20th or even 30th. So, but the above normal temperatures will be focused on Texas. Here's a look at the future temperatures. At 5,000 feet, we call them the 850 millibar temperatures because they're a very good indicator. You can see that blue just blobbing all over parts of the Great Lakes. So there's going to be potential for maybe some flurries, some cold enough air. When it's cold enough, you can see your breath. I'm looking at all this blue up here. This is where the cold air is going to be residing right through the 12th of October. It's not very hot here, but again, all things relative, it doesn't look all that super cold either. So we're kind of going to be holding steady. Now, our temperature trend kind of stair steps us back up to about 81. 81 might seem warm to you this time of year when the normal high is 77. As we head into Saturday, it's going to be a normal high of 76. So we're going to be seeing a drop in the normals every 3 or 4 days, but at least in the short term, I'd say these next couple of days are going to be fantastic where it really feels very comfortable. Let's get to the Eastern Shore forecast. If you're in Onancock, if you're in Wachapreague, it'll be about 69, 70 for Bloxham, and about 69 for Exmoor and Cape Charles. Sliding further south, OBX, Outer Banks, about 71 for Manio and Wanchese. Kill Devil Hills, 71. Duckett, 70. And Hatteras could have an easy high there. Have 73 tomorrow and 74 in Ocracoke for your Friday afternoon. I mentioned the Storm Prediction Center is a great tool. No, they're not taking any breaks. I always say that sarcastically or jokingly. They don't take breaks, but they do focus on some areas in dark green, which would be the isolated severe storms. Maybe not tonight, not through daybreak tomorrow, but there are indications that the severe threat in parts of the country will begin to expand where before they had nothing. This is Friday. I'm looking at over here back toward the Rockies, looking at Utah and parts of Colorado, Wyoming, and right over Idaho and Montana. Isolated severe storms possible tomorrow there if you have family. And this is expanding northward into Minnesota by the time we hit Saturday. So parts of North and South Dakota, Rapid City, for example, may have some isolated storms on Saturday, and western sections of Nebraska, parts of northeastern Colorado. Outside of that, weather all across the country looks pretty quiet indeed. Meanwhile, we take a look at tonight, and you can see why I'm expecting a few scattered clouds tomorrow morning. This is 7 a.m. There's some clouds, but boy, does it get bright. You said partly cloudy goes to mostly sunny. I did. Here's partly cloudy. That's noon. Now it's mostly sunny. Go to 5 o'clock, there's hardly any clouds, but the winds much lighter. The winds only under about 5 to 15 at best. The 15 might be closer to the morning, but more 5 to 10 as we round out the rest of the day. Friday afternoon, you're already focused on the weekend, and you should be because the weather is going to be fantastic. This is 7 a.m. Saturday. Do you see what I'm saying? The only thing that's going to be flying through the air may be high, thin cirrus clouds around 30,000 feet. That's pretty sweet. Midday looks good. 5 o'clock Saturday looks great. So all these events, including Battle of the Bay, looks like great football weather. By Saturday night, looks pretty good. Now, I did mention some rain. What does that look like? Let's stop the clock. This is right around 12:30 a.m. on Thursday. So you see some rain going to be coming in late Wednesday, early morning Thursday, and then it's going to brush in and brush out. So the best chance will come Thursday morning based on today's timing. I am usually not quick to put timing on day 6, day 7, or even day 5, 6, or 7, because these things can change. And if they speed up, they slow down, the AM, PM thing doesn't work. But at least right now, based on this guidance, most of the rain Thursday would be in the morning. We would likely see some improvement Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening. So if you're a planner, you don't like to be spontaneous, and maybe that's a birthday for you. Who knows? I don't know. But I can tell you next Thursday looks better in the afternoon for drying out. Friday morning, we are in the 50s. Dare I say, some will be in the 40s. That's pretty tough. I got Conway at 50, but let's be real. If you were in the upper 40s this morning, Conway or Wakefield, you may very well be a few degrees cooler than what's indicated here. 60 for Virginia Beach, 60 in Hampton. That's where I expect to be. Now come tomorrow morning, if you're in Chesapeake, 57. 52 for Matthews, for beautiful kayak country up there. 59 for Newport News, but mid-60s for Nags Head and Corolla. Tomorrow afternoon, you'll see we struggle to get to 70 for the peninsulas, but look at this blue sky. It looks beautiful. Mostly sunny, 72 south side, 74 for North Carolina. And we can pick you out a favorite town for your highs, about 72 for Portsmouth, 70 for Virginia Beach, Hampton 72. The Pirates, of course, big game on Saturday, and then Ducks 70, and Edenton. Beautiful Edenton, where the 50th annual, of course, the Peanut Festival going on this Saturday. So you got a lot of activity. And then, of course, in Smithfield, 72 and 76 in Hertford. Here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. So 74 Saturday, 77 on Sunday. We're going to flirt with 80 again. It will be knocking on the door, and it will feel a tad more humid as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday. Overnight lows in the mid-60s. I put mainly AM here, but we can fine-tune the timing. This is really one system, one that approaches on Wednesday and exits on Thursday. So it looks like 2 days worth of rain when it's really one front that might break between the two time frames. I hope that helps. That's where we stand on the 7-day forecast. Got to show you the beautiful happy shots. Bradley Fullwood in Fort Monroe captured this gem. It's just beautiful. The composition with the tree there, and of course Mount Trashmore, beautiful park. Of course, you know, if you're in Lisa's lens, you always get a beautiful picture here at a very popular place here in Virginia Beach. And last but not least, Buckrow Beach in Hampton. William Wood captured this gem. It just really kind of shines right through the clouds. Love it. Thank you, William, for sharing that with us as well. We have a Facebook group called WTKR Photographers, and they're always putting up some great photographs. So thank you for that. Again, here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 72 tomorrow, 74 Saturday, 77 on Sunday. And if I mentioned, I hope I did, that you too could win some free pizza. If not, if you didn't win tonight, or if you did win tonight and you don't know where to redeem your certificate when you get it in the mail, there are 3 locations in Virginia Beach: the Virginia Beach Boulevard, the Princess Anne Road, and the Independence Boulevard, and one in Chesapeake on Kempsville Road and Hampton. We encourage you to go to WTKR.com/Marcos. We are not done giving away pizza. We'll do it again next Thursday. Although I do have a programming note I'll share with you momentarily. But don't let me forget the $10.99 Hot Honey Magnifico. Use the promo code WTKR Sunny. It's delicious. The certificate we've given out tonight goes out to Janine Ricks, if she's just watching, just joining us, and the 10 individual pizzas have gone out to these 10 beautiful individuals who will be receiving that in just a short period of time. But very thankful for all of you. Thank you for joining us today. Enter a pizza for a year. Go to WTKR.com/Marcos. Okay, just to reset, I am going to be taking some time off on Monday and Tuesday. Fall break is coming up around the corner. It's a great chance to spend time with family, and I never miss those opportunities, and I hope you don't either. But I want to encourage you, we will be doing this again Wednesday, Thursday, so the pizza will be given out on schedule next Thursday. So I'll have more updates on that, and hopefully more updates on the new store opening up very soon in South Battlefield around Great Bridge. Anyway, just remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny, which it will be this weekend, or if it's serious, which it kind of was last couple of days. Last week it was kind of serious. Just know that every day is a gift. Every day is a gift, so make the most of it in your neighborhood, and we'll see you here next time. Take care.